The impending death of the penny means that Americans will have one less coin in their pockets, and with it, a shrinking connection to physical currency. It also means the country will lose its only red-colored cent, which stings a little bit, I think, from a sentimental aspect. But thanks to the latest redesign of the dime, the old saying, "not one red cent," has been negated. While the new coin maintains its silvery luster, the political meaning of the word red has taken on an entirely new meaning where the dime is concerned. Now, before we look at the latest design, a special shout out goes to Silver Dave, who brought this development to my attention via his YouTube channel. All right then, so let's take a look at the new design for 2026. The new dime was created to celebrate America's 250th year anniversary, or semi-quincentennial. On the coin's obverse, we see a cameo of what appears to be Lady Liberty wearing a modern take on a classic Liberty cap. Now, what's striking about this cap, I think, is the clever placement of stars directly on the cap. I have never seen stars on a Liberty cap in past versions of any U.S. government minted coin, which I think makes this iteration truly unique. At first glance, the Liberty cap bears a distinct similarity to a red Chinese worker's cap. Now, I don't believe this is purely coincidental. Instead, I think it's safe to assume it was a deliberate insertion to suggest a communist-type theme. Now, turning to the dime's reverse, and here's where it gets interesting, we see some eye-opening features. Conspicuous by its absence is the lack of the olive branch, which has traditionally been found on earlier dimes. Also missing is the oak leaf, which traditionally symbolizes strength and independence. And yet another missing feature is the traditional Liberty torch, and in its stead is a fierce-looking eagle holding arrows in its talons. This, of course, represents war and is a stunning visual depiction of the federal government's permanent wartime footing. Now, especially noteworthy is how the eagle is shown with an open claw and a particularly vicious gaze aimed at the word liberty at the coin's bottom left side. Now, the inscription at the bottom reads, "Liberty over tyranny." At face value, this is a fine-sounding phrase, but what is the true intent here? I think a case can be made that the phrase can actually be read as liberty over, in other words, liberty is over, with tyranny the final outcome. And the eagle's vicious-looking demeanor while gazing at the word liberty cannot be accidental. The 2026 dime's design overhaul brings to mind another visual prediction made earlier this year when The Economist's annual forecast edition placed on its front cover a picture of a birthday cake symbolizing America's 250th anniversary. Chillingly, a blue fist in the pose of a traditional communist fist salute, handcuffed at the wrist, was attached to the cake. The implication here was obvious. 2026 is apparently slated to be the year Americans completely lose the rest of their remaining liberties as tyranny's satanic march continues unabated. But the good news is this. For freedom-minded Americans, it's not a death sentence. Instead, it's a reminder that while the once mighty republic is close to extinction, resistance is not futile, and there are still plenty of ways an enterprising individual can escape the encroaching tyranny. And I'll have more to say about that in another video. But for now, this is South Bay. Thanks for listening.